So since the last video where I completed my Battle Frontier team, or at least the team for certain aspects of the Battle Frontier, I've been grinding a lot of the Battle Dome and a little bit of the Battle Tower. So I have gotten the silver medal for the Battle Dome. In case you don't know what the Battle Dome is, you bring 3 Pokemon in with you and you pick 2. You get to see your opponent's 3 Pokemon and 2 of them get selected as well. So it's like a 2v2 kind of thing. I did get to the 6th level of the Battle Dome, although you need to get to 10 to get the gold medal and beat Tucker. But I think I got robbed on my battle. We're going to watch it play back because I saved it so we could watch it. It was actually awful. Like I'm still heated about this. But I guess in general, with the Battle Dome specifically, I think I need to make some serious, or not maybe serious, but I definitely need to make adjustments to my team, because there's definitely very consistent things that have been happening where my team cannot overcome it or get through it. So I do want to address that in this video and kind of let you know what I'm going to be doing, I guess adapting my team to what I've been noticing in the Battle Frontier. In case you haven't watched the other videos, real quick, I have 3 Pokemon. We got Dusclops, he's a beefy wall. The other Pokemon is Salamence, physical sweeper, and I have Aggron, who is a kind of bulkier sweeper. What I've been noticing in the Battle Frontier is there is a lot of ice moves, like a lot. Like every Pokemon that could have an ice move does. Exploudon had an ice move. I was like, why does this Pokemon have ice? So that was very surprising. I lost the whole match because of that. So I have Salamence and Aggron on my team. Salamence is incredibly weak to ice, 4 times. Aggron is 2 times weak to water. However, Aggron's special defense is absolutely garbage. Even though I IV bred and EV trained Aggron to have maximum HP, the special defense is so lackluster it cannot survive a Surf, Hydro Pump, really anything. I mean, it can survive some Surfs from like weaker Pokemon, but any Pokemon with some sort of like, I guess like strength, like any Pokemon that has like normal attack stats or special attack stats will just wipe Aggron out completely. Also, I did not know prior to this, but Sturdy in this game, or this generation, only blocks one-hit KO moves like Fissure, like Horn Drill, Sheer Coal. It does not actually protect you from moves that'll kill you in 1 hit. It's only 1-hit KO moves, so that severely ruins the intent of Aggron, in my opinion. Aggron, though, has been able to survive multiple Earthquakes and multiple Brick Breaks, although, again, just water moves wipe it out. So again, just recapping, Salamence incredibly weak to ice, gets deleted any ice move. Aggron weak to water. Now, in theory, Aggron is a steel type, so it should be able to resist or counter these ice types. However, there aren't really any ice types in the game, or ice Pokemon in the game. Every single water Pokemon also has an ice move. Anytime I'm versing a water type Pokemon or multiple, that water Pokemon will have a water move and an ice move, and 2 of my Pokemon are unable to consistently and successfully, I guess, combat that. There are chances where obviously I can win and I get through this. However, my team has to adapt to ensure that I'm going to be more reliable getting to these higher rounds and actually like managing them. I also do not have moves that successfully or are effective against water types. So that's something else I need to take into consideration. Dusclops also has been a champion taking care of these Pokemon, but again, Dusclops isn't a god. He can't take on everything, so that's something that moving forward I have to be considerate of. So moving forward, there isn't another Pokemon that I'm going to train for this team. One thing I want to consider or take into consideration is I still think Aggron is a pretty good solid pick for my team. It's just I think I trained it wrong. I think I needed to focus a little bit more on the special defense stat and maybe less on the attack, just trying to make it a little bit beefier to survive at least 1 or 2, I guess at least 1 Surf or even Hydro Pump. I really like Aggron, however, I think I'm going to end up taking that Pokemon out and replace it with something else. I don't really like being too suspenseful, so that Pokemon's going to be Tyranitar. Tyranitar is one of my favorite Pokemon. It was actually my favorite Pokemon for like 8-9 years, maybe even 10, I don't even know. But over the last few years, Rayquaza is just too cool. I just can't not love Rayquaza. Tyranitar's base stats are overall just really awesome. Aggron's base stats also aren't like terrible, but they're just too concentrated in 2 stats. And that's the problem. He can't tank anything special. So this might be dumb, but I have a fun thing I want to do with Tyranitar. So typically, look at the attack stat, it's pretty high. But the thing is, I'm probably going to do it or train it in special attack and more bulky or more beefy. So a little bit of special attack, a little bit of special defense, and HP. I'm going to kind of digest that a little bit more, and maybe actually I'm going to look some more things up because I don't want to waste too much time training a bad at Tyranitar, but I'm going to train it in special attack because it learns some really cool moves. You got Thunderbolt, you got Ice Beam, you got Crunch with Stab, and I believe it can also learn Fire Blast or Flamethrower. So the overall idea of Tyranitar in my team is I need a special attacker, and I need to cover a wider variety of weaknesses while also being somewhat tanky in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense. So I want Tyranitar to be somewhat beefy. I want him to take 1 or 2 hits, but at the same time I want Tyranitar to have moves that are going to be super effective against a variety of different Pokemon. Tyranitar does have a pretty high special attack, not super high. Salamence is much higher, but also Tyranitar is a lot beefier than Salamence from like a base stat point of view. One thing too though is Tyranitar has Sandstream. There's a lot of Pokemon in the Battle Frontier with Endure, Leftovers, things like that, and Sandstream does negate that. So that's a pretty important thing that I do want to consider. Tyranitar does have some weaknesses. The 4 times weakness to fighting is kind of annoying, but again, the base stat is pretty, or the base defense on Tyranitar is pretty high. There aren't that many fighting moves anyway. So overall, I think this is somewhat okay. The idea for Tyranitar, I think, is more of to not necessarily one-shot Pokemon, but it's to be super effective against a lot of different Pokemon, or have moves that'll be super effective against multiple Pokemon and be able to take a couple hits. Is this dumb? Maybe, but I think also it'd be pretty cool regardless to have a Tyranitar with like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Fire Blast, things like that. That's cool. That's a cool Pokemon right there. So it is the idea of Tyranitar for my team. Again, I think Aggron has a place. I do think if I want to use Aggron, it needs to be different. It cannot survive a Surf with the current training that it has. Maybe it'll be better for different aspects of the Battle Frontier, but the Battle Dome, it does not work. Real quick, wrapping up on the Battle Dome, I started it at about 126 hours, and I beat Tucker at 130, so it took me like 5 hours to actually, maybe like 4 hours to actually get there. Kind of a long time, but it was kind of challenging. That is, again, the silver medal, not the gold. I was only halfway there. I have also started the Battle Tower just because I was getting, I wouldn't say frustrated, I was just getting tired of the Battle Dome, and I'm at 21 wins in the Battle Tower right now. That's currently the streak, although again I'm running into the same issue. When there's a Pokemon that has an ice move and a water move, I can't kill it fast enough, and it just wipes my 2 sweepers. So it's something just has to change on my team. I do want to just note my, I guess, things that have been really working out for the team. Dusclops is a beast. Like he could take on any Pokemon basically. Like any Pokemon, he can just win. Will-O-Wisp is really good just because it also burns, which cuts their physical attack. Also, it's a really cool move. Nightshade has been a lot better of a move than I thought. There are a pretty good amount of normal Pokemon, however, for a lot of them, like, it doesn't really matter. Also, real quick, I need to put Brick Break on Salamence. I'm going to replace that with Double Edge just as a better move because we are taking away Aggron. That's one thing I got to keep in mind. But Dusclops is a beast. Rock Slide is also a really powerful move. I'm surprised how many times Rock Slide has been used on my team, like against some other opponent. It just covers so many Pokemon. I mean, that obviously Earthquake you use a lot as well. But Earthquake and Rock Slide, like every match you can use that. Also, Rock Slide's ability to make other Pokemon flinch does come in handy a lot. Speaking of flinching, we haven't even watched the video yet and I forgot, but I'm gonna run this back. So again, I just lost to the 6th person, or the 6th level of the Battle Dome. I'm gonna play the video back. This is at like 3 times speed. So Exploudon comes out, right? I hit it with an Earthquake, we almost kill it, and then look, it has Ice Beam. Why does Exploudon have Ice Beam? I just was not expecting that at all. So then I sent out Dusclops. I was not using Aggron in this because I just thought that Salamence and Dusclops were better Pokemon. I forgot what the other Pokemon potentially would be, but anyway, this is what I did. So Dusclops now has to both defeat Exploudon and Charizard. So Dusclops already at a pretty severe disadvantage right here. So right here, Dusclops gets so low, 13 HP, but he survives and we get the rest off. Really lucky. I was feeling pretty lucky here, just in general. And again, we get the 31. I wake up, I get lucky again, and we do hit it with another rest. I haven't even been able to do any damage to this Charizard, so I'm getting a little bit concerned here, but at the same time, like, I have faith in Dusclops. He's an absolute unit. So we finally get a Confuse Ray off. And then we finally start taking damage, and now I'm using Nightshade to try and weaken the Charizard. Charizard's getting low, I'm getting low as well. However, look at that, Charizard's got like 2 health left. He does snap out of confusion, he bites me, I flinch. Not a big deal, we can still hit him again. He bites me again, and he gets a crit. So that was kind of frustrating. Charizard had like 1 HP, and yeah, and the snapping out of confusion with the flinch killed me, so. It's rough out here, but we're grinding, I guess. Anyway, though, that's the plan moving forward. I think I'm going to try and take on the battle tower until I lose, and then I will use that time to train up a special attacking, bulky Tyranitar. I will make a video on that as well. I had a couple people ask about like an EV training video, so I think as I'm doing this process with Larvitar and Tyranitar, I'm going to probably make a video on EV training as well. I mean, there's already a lot of videos and articles out there, however, I might as well add my own little video to that mix and see if people find it valuable. Let me know down in the comments how you're doing on your adventure. I definitely am hitting a pretty big roadblock, but I think I'm going to be able to get through just fine. Just need to adapt and overcome. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Until next time, I'll see you later.